Now, whether on or off Broadway or at small venues across the country, Irish theatre has long found a home here in the US. This week, we take a look at a different form of Irish theatre, gaining popularity here: pub theatre, reaching far beyond the Irish-American community. But it's now no longer confined to the traditional stage. Something very creative is taking place in small spaces in pubs and back bars across New York City. Pub theatre has come to town, and your local may be serving up more than the usual pint.
I think the great attraction of pub theatre is it's right there. It's in your local or your friend's local, and you can bring your pint, come upstairs or at the back of the bar, wherever it happens to be. A lot of people are intimidated about going to like a Broadway theatre, and a pub, 99% of people go to a pub at some stage or another. So that's much more welcoming. You're not forking out $150, it's like 20 bucks or so. I would have started in pub theatre in Ireland, so I got involved at the Poormouth Theatre in the Bronx here. I've done 2 plays up there. What's great about there is local talent, writers. Don Creedon, who runs the place with a few others, as a writer himself, people have sent him stuff and they go, this is good, let's do a little one act.
Pub theatre came about because the commerce and the art didn't meet, but the art was always there. And in New York specifically, well, how many bars are there in New York? How many actors are there in New York? How many directors, how many writers? So a group of us got together and we sort of said, you know, we should do something. Most of them don't last more than an hour. Have a few laughs, you know, meet the actors. It's something, it's like, we always say bring theatre to the people. Well, this is really bringing theatre to the people who drink.
Dubliner ANTO NOLAN, who emigrated to the US in the late 1980s, has been involved over the years in all aspects of theatre, from acting to directing to writing. His first play, Too Much Too Young, about a recent emigrant to New York reuniting with friends at home, opened in Dublin's Tivoli Theatre in 1997.
She said you were shacked up and all. What? The bleeding face of me nearly dropped. I know, she said you were on the site or something.
Jesus, lads, that was when I went over there first.
So come on, what are you up to now?
Well, I'm a bartender.
Oh, did you hear that accent again, Joey?
All right, smart ass, I'm a barman. Anyway, what are you two doing?
You mean walk?
Yeah.
This is Ireland, Buster, you know? Nobody walks here.
The emigration theme continues in Nolan's recent work, but now much of his writing and directing is focused on pub theatre.
Writing for pub theatre is a little bit different than writing for theatre, because as the years have gone on, and as I've said before about art and commerce, and you know, budgets get smaller, what's happened is casts, the numbers have got smaller. So I could write a play with 10 people, give it to a producer of a theatre, and they go like, can you make it 5 people? Can you make it 3 people? And I've had that happen. So, whereas pub theatre, it's like, the pub is here, the bar is there, you write the scene that the girl walks behind the bar. It's cost effective. Because they're only about an hour long, the story, the dialogue, everything has to be snappier. You don't have the beauty of like big effects, lighting effects or sound effects, so everything's to a minimum. But the story is always the thing. Shakespeare said the play's the thing. You don't worry, you don't have this, you don't have that. Just keep with the story, and the story is the most important. I think my set cost me, if you could call it a set, somewhere in the region of $150. Just trying to keep the cost down, but keep the performance high, keep the quality of the theatre high, keep the quality of the writing, the acting, the entertainment high, because if we're not going to entertain people, it doesn't matter what set you build, it doesn't matter how much it costs. If they don't like it, they don't like it. Sure, the cost will be down, but the entertainment value will be very high. That's what we're going for.
I got me fair share now, I have to say. Women my own age, and the older ones, the divorced ones, the separated ones, the not so happy with their lot ones, but never the younger ones.
Nolan's 2 latest plays, A One Man and A One Woman, were written specifically with pub theatre in mind. Produced by Rafters Road Theatre Company, they will be performed at Ryan's Daughter on Manhattan's Upper East Side in early September. The pub's co-owner, Mick Malamphy, is also an actor, and keeping it in-house, will play the role of Jerry in the first play, Dirty Money.
As somebody who owns a bar, It's definitely a good idea, I think, especially weeknights, you know, when people are at a loose end rather than sitting in watching the usual stuff on telly. It's kind of nice for people to know that they can come out, see a little bit of live theatre, see something going on in their local community, you know, close to where they live. And we're really thrilled now because in early September we have 2 of ANTO NOLAN's new one-act plays that we're going to be performing here live upstairs at Ryan's Daughter, Dirty Money and Get a Room. It's particularly thrilling for me because I get to wear my other hat as an actor. I'm delighted to be involved in it. It's a wonderful, wonderful play. It's the story of a guy who's getting out of Ireland. He comes to New York, and there's a lot of little similarities between my own life and what goes on in the show as well. I think it's a type of a play that will reach a huge cross-section of the community, people who will come and see it. It's the kind of play where you'll want to go and have a pint afterwards and discuss.
"Come to New York," he said to me. "What for?" I'd ask him. "Oh, it's great crack, you'll love it. Come to New York, come to New York." That's all I'd ever hear. I was hearing it in my sleep. So I gave in, and here I am, 7 years later.
The second play, Get a Room, will be performed by Dublin actress Nicola Murphy, the artistic director of the Fundamental Theatre Project. She is also behind a reading series at Ryan's Daughter called A Play and a Pint.
The story is about a young girl called Susan who's originally from Dublin, and she moves to New York to be with her boyfriend who she eventually marries. And you just are sort of brought on the story with her from when she moves all the way to when she decides to leave and actually go back to Ireland. So it's her whole experience being here, how life changes, you know, growing up in Dublin to moving to New York, and all of the things that they experience here together.
Don't forget when you do the brush, it's like, and here I am, 7 years.
The 2 plays will be staged at Ryan's Daughter for 6 nights, September 5th to the 7th and September 13th through the 15th at 8 p.m. Then it's on to Dublin, where they will be performed in association with Theatre Upstairs at Lanigan's Bar on Eden Quay.
They'll run for 6 nights. They'll alternate, 1 man, 1 woman, then both on the 3rd night, and then both on the 6th night.
Dowie says, thinking about going to England.
The 2 plays are connected, but they stand alone. In the 1 man, Dirty Money, the character Jerry talks about Susan. That's who he's waiting for the phone call from Ireland. And in Get a Room, Susan talks about Jerry and why she's leaving after 8 years. They stand alone, so you can come see the 1 man one night, 1 woman another night, or come see both of them together. And then we'll have the same when we go to Dublin, to Lanigan's Bar in Dublin, and Eden Quay, and there'll be lunchtime shows, and they will alternate from the 24th of September for 2 weeks to the 6th of October. It'll be just interesting to see what people in Dublin think of the New York plays, but they're set in Dublin. So it's like bringing your first baby home. You know, let's see what the folks think.